I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so and so, and he's putting down so and so. No, I don't have time for that. And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by a evil snowman.
Oh my God!
I mean, that hat. The hat is nowhere else except on Burl Ives. Facial fur. That's what I'm dealing with. It's like
they're part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
It's incredible. It's like, I mean, that's a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself,
asshole.
We're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like somebody says, "I'm sorry for it." You got me. Let's celebrate. That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world that is our people.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
thank you,
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are.
Remember when I was running for president as a socialist, and I'd go out there and I'd say socialism is the only thing that can save America.
Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, I'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
For me and the Lord, we gotta understand it.
We're on a mission from God.
Welcome everyone to the Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissil, and today, let's talk about it. I hope you're all doing well on this fine Sunday. We're on episode 21, and we have an interview to review today. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below. It helps with the algorithms. It helps us get through the permanent shadow ban that we are under. It's been years. I don't know how to get out of it. So please do what you can and hit that little like button. And also leave a comment below as well. All of this helps. So we have an interview to review today. I'm gonna wait for a few more of you to stroll on in here, and we will get started. But yeah, it's been a great week. The reels have been going really well, so I'm going to continue putting those out. It's a lot more digestible than sitting down for 5 hours. So we're getting to it. We're getting through all the details. We're giving the highlights to the people that don't have the time to sit here through 5 hours. But we'll try to keep it a little shorter today. Maybe we'll do 3 hours if we're lucky. But I hope you all enjoy that new intro. Make sure to go back and watch it if you're coming in late. So let's get this interview pulled up here. I think I transitioned that pretty well. Alright, first and foremost, we need the stream images up here. Let's bring that up. Alright. Again, we are live on Rumble and YouTube. So, whatever platform you're watching on, thank you. So we're going to be watching a Michael Jaco interview from December. And actually, let's get the still that I have up here for it. Because again, we're not trying to give views to these channels. We're just giving reviews. So this interview we're doing today, that we're reviewing, is Michael Jaco. He has 116,000 subscribers. So I consider this a punching up episode. Because you don't want to punch down, you want to punch up. Unless those that are below you decide to punch up, then you gotta punch back down. I don't know. Get your drinks ready. Get your snacks. And we'll get this rolling. So as you can see, this interview has 10,000 views. So a lot different from that other channel that has half the subscribers. It's like barely at 135 right now. When we left it from a few episodes ago, it was 87. But this is the interview we're going to watch. It's 55 minutes. But we're not doing that. We're not doing just 55 minutes. Like, we're going to go break all this down. We're also going to watch it at 1.5 speed. Because that seems to be the thing to do with this. Being all just in depth with all of this. So this is the interview. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, that's gonna be a good size for it. Alright. And let's just fix the speed, 1.5. All right. Hey, Zenray. Good to see you. Yes, brand new, updated intro for those of you who enjoy watching those. I added a little bit of humor into that. But everything seems to look good right now with the stream. Everything's rolling. good connection. 10 minutes in, we're gonna get this thing rolling. But again, this is from December. It's really quick. December 14th. It's a little under 3 months ago. And I don't think we've done an in-depth review of this yet. So let's get this started. Oh, no audio for you guys, so let me fix that real quick.
Hello, everybody.
There
It's
we
Michael
go.
Jacob with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. I have Christine Grant and Tom Althouse, both amazing authors. Private Benjamin. You guys might remember that movie. That is a real life story from Christine, and she basically had that stolen from her. And of course, we know The Matrix. We've had Tom on many times, and we're going to talk about, why does Hollywood do this? Why do they take, authors' works and profit off them? And what does that mean? Because they've taken your work and they basically twisted it and all kind of crazy stuff. So,
By the way, this Michael Jaco channel, he has videos about that patch that he gave Tom to use. That Tom admitted he doesn't know the ingredients of. He just puts the patch on himself. He doesn't know what he's taking in through his skin on his body, but he feels great. But Tom didn't know what ingredients he was putting into his body by accepting the patch that Michael Jaco is shilling for here. But maybe we'll touch upon that after this interview.
this is great because I know, Tom, you've been doing this for a long time. Christine, I think this is your first time we've had you on. We're going to disclose, what they did with you as well. Oh my God. So both of you have incredible stories. For you coming out like this basically allows other people to come out and reveal even more. So that's what I love about these shows. It gives more people the inspiration and the courage to come out and share their own stories. So thank you very much for joining us today, guys.
Pleasure.
My pleasure. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so let's start with you.
Okay?
Yeah, your volume's perfect. Let's start with you first, Christine. Saving Private Benjamin. All right, I'll bring up the movie with Goldie Hawn. Won't show a clip or anything, but I'll show the actual photo of her. But that was your real life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. So what they did with the movie, the essence and some of the conversation, if you will, and things, the whole sort of thematic attitude, meta message given out in the movie was my story. How it was portrayed in the film, they made some small changes or significant changes, but still the essence of it was mine. When I was 18, I literally ran away from home, and I was 18, so I could legally go, and I went to Hawaii, and I had a lot of adventures there. One day I was walking down the beach, and the surfer says, "Is your name Christine?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I think it's your dad. He's been combing the beaches for about 6 weeks looking for you." I was gone for about a year. Okay. So I met up with my dad, and he said, "Your mom and I have discussed it, and we are willing to pay for your college." And I was raised in a large family, where we worked our buns off even as kids. And it was kind of, if you want something, figure it out, largely. And so I said, "Really, you guys are going to send me to college?" We promised. Okay. So I come back, and my parents said, "We've decided you're going to nursing school." I said, "Are you kidding? I hate the sight of blood." No. Your mother's a nurse. One of your sisters is now in nursing school. You're not going to be a starving artist. You're going to nursing school. I went, give me a break. I'd given up this huge life, in Hawaii, where I was on 3 episodes of Hawaii Five-0 with speaking parts. I was asked to join the Screen Actors Guild. I drove a Boston Whaler, gave parasailing rides. I mean, Paris Hilton's uncle was my boyfriend. Okay, so I had this big life. And so I'm going to nursing school. I said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding." My older brother says, "I've got an idea. Why don't you join the military?" And I said, "The military? What?" I'm like this blonde beach bunny. He said, "Yeah, no." He said, "It'll be perfect. I mean, come on, you can choose Europe. They'll station you in Europe, and then they'll pick your MOS, military occupational school."
That's a lot of jumping around for this chick, isn't it? Ran away from home and got rewarded for being away by being offered to have college paid for by the parents she ran away from.
For you'll be a secretary.
I have no idea who this woman is, but we're watching this for the 2 people on the top here.
Little spiky high heels and a beret, and it'll be fun. And I said, "God, that sounds good. Oh yeah, I'm going to do it." So I joined the military, and boot camp was another full story. I mean, I literally slept under the bed so that I wouldn't have to toss a coin on it in the morning, getting up at 4 a.m. and all that stuff. But then when I got to Europe, they made me put me in Signal Corps, Foxtrot to Blueberry Hill, come in Zulu 9, move your oscillator button. I drove a 2.5-ton truck, 5/4-ton Jeep, put up 75-foot antennas in the middle of the Black Forest. Did I ever really do that once I was there? No. But my biggest thing, my attitude was, are you kidding me? I'm wearing men's clothes. Olive green is not my color. I'm not, what? What is this? And so there was a lot of adventures around that. I actually fell in love for the first time with an officer. That's a whole other story. But when I got out of the military, I was all of 21 years.
Did you catch that coffee mug that Tom has there? It says, failure is not an option. All right. Whatever you say, Tom.
So I joined as a late teen. I was barely 19 and came out at 21. And I took a college course, a script writing course. And I did an overview of my, and my last name started with a B, by the way. But I did an overview of my story there in the military, my experience, a character sketch, and the first act. The script writing professor worked for MGM, just happened to, right? And he says, A++++, this is the best material that has ever crossed my desk. See me after class. He then just interviewed me, took copious notes for well over 2 hours, just interviewing me and taking notes. Said, thank you very much. And within a year, the movie Private Benjamin came out, starring Goldie Hawn, and which was later on made into a TV series. I mean, the theme of it, the blonde beach bunny that goes to Germany and says, you know, where are the condos, was totally the flavor of my story.
Wow.
And so in 1989, I was on a ski trip with my husband at the time in Aspen, Colorado, and they had an engagement party for Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith at the Jerome Hotel. So we're in our after ski attire and we're with a couple friends. And so they said, we went to the Jerome Hotel and all these people trying to get into this big party were dressed in formal wear, wrapped around the building. So one of our friends said, oh, let's sneak up the back steps. Okay. Oh, look, there's some grab a tray, everybody. Let's pretend we're waiters. You know, so I follow the guys up the steps in the back of this hotel into the men's room. And they look at me and they said, hello, you're in the men's room. And I said, you're right. Take my tray. And I walked into the party like I owned it. And it was laden with movie stars. You know, just Cher was there. Jane Fonda was there. Sally Field was there. This is 1989. And of course, Goldie Hawn and Kurt were there. And so my husband got in eventually, and he was speaking with Goldie. And by the way, everyone that was at the party was dressed just like us in that uniform, after ski, casual chic.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so he met up with Goldie and said, you have to meet my wife. That movie is so much her story, and it was stolen from her. And she came over to me, and she was as sweet as could be, and said, I want to just apologize. I can't even imagine what that must have felt like to go through that. And I don't know what to say except, can I give you a hug? She was very, very sweet.
Wow. So here you got Goldie Hawn that could do something about the injustice of theft in Hollywood, and she's just like, I'll give you a hug. What a piece of shit. Now, I'm sure we're all understanding here that Hollywood does steal ideas from other people. It's what Tom is relying on you to remember. But Tom has conflated all of this. He's turned this into his world where Hollywood is continually ripping him off. Whereas this Christine woman, one film. A lot more believable if it's true at all.
That's amazing. So there's a lot more to the story. That's a fantastic introduction. We love that. And now we're going to go over to Tom and get his overview of having the Matrix series stolen from him. Tom, thanks.
You see how he validates Tom by having this woman on first and sharing her theft story? And then it leads into Tom, and then it's more believable that, oh yeah, also Tom's a victim too to this whole thing. Very convenient.
For coming on again, tell us a little bit about your story.
My pleasure. Really, it's very much God-centered. It really comes from a Christian boy going to a Christian grad school who, before he arrives there, goes through an experience where I ask.
He says he's Jewish. Sorry. He admits when it's convenient for him, he's Jewish. Just like with them when they say that they're white. Tom's doing the same damn thing here.
God, if you will, like David with his hands on the altar and the Holy Holy, saying, can we see your face? Can we prove ourselves as your children? It was really very much that kind of idea of I wanted to have God prove all the Sunday school stuff, all that kind of stuff. Here we are. If we're your children, show yourself. Pretty audacious. But anyway, I got this idea that I was being lifted off this carpet in the center of this room in Warrington, Pennsylvania. And the idea was that I could feel this presence, this spirit, and I felt like I was being lifted. It was an amazing feeling. I showed that on the Roseanne Barr show too. And it's like, then all of a sudden this thought came in my head and it just disappeared. It was like I was being trained.
Roseanne Barr, the Zionist, which I still have to add Roseanne Barr's admission to being a Zionist on the show that she did with Tom. I need to add that into the intro here to this show. So I'm working on this. Don't worry, I'm getting my receipts ready for all of us.
With the idea that you have to have a pure mind. If you really want to ask God to be able to commune, meet, that kind of thing, prove, be pure in your mind and learn that discipline. Also, compassion and humility was a prerequisite. I was learning that. And then I realized that writing was a service. If you're going to write good material and create, like you've done, Christine, we have to serve our audience. We have to serve audience. Usually comes from a place of like Shakespeare in Love, a real life story that we're translating to make it palatable for audiences so they can benefit from the sharing and encourage them to also maybe create. That was where my heart was. And so what's interesting now, Michael and Christine, is that house is being sold. That original house where I was at in that room, I did that video and sent. I actually cut the carpets. I cut the carpets where the center, where I was standing in the center, I marked the center carpet next.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, like, that's where it all happened. That's where the Matrix came from. I thought in the future, I had this feeling that in the future people might want a piece of that carpet. I'll just give it as a gift. It's like, that's where I was standing when all this came, and that's the genesis of the Matrix. Not Chicago in Raven Studios, but actually in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of turmoil. So that's...
Are you kidding me? He cut carpet out and saying this is where I was standing when I got the idea from God to write the Immortals? But he's saying it's the Matrix. You notice that? This guy's a fucking liar. He did not write the Matrix. He wrote the Immortals. The Immortals has nothing to do with the Matrix. The Immortals doesn't even mention the Matrix in its script.
But the thing is, like, that's where it all happened. That's where the Matrix came from. I thought in the future, I had this feeling that in the future...
That's where the Matrix came from. No, that's where the Immortals came from, Tom. Tom Althouse is a fraud. Tom Althouse is a liar. Tom Althouse is a grifter.
People might want a piece of that carpet. I'll just give it as a gift. It's like, that's where I was standing when all this came, and that's the genesis of the Matrix. Not Chicago in Raven Studios, but actually...
He cut the piece of carpet out where he says he got the idea for, like, where he was standing when he got the idea. Can you believe this? It just gets more and more ridiculous.
In Pennsylvania, there's a lot of turmoil. So that's kind of the background. A lot of things are happening now that I'm very excited about, and like what we've all been through. We've all been through the grind.
What are you excited about? The perpetual documentary?
And we come out looking like this, where we just feel good and bright and glowing, and of course my lights are really hot right now, but it's like just feeling really, really refreshed because we went through it all, survived it all, were able to give gifts to humanity, and came out no worse for the wear. We're still compassionate, we still are humble, we still are able to create, and
No, he's not compassionate, he's not humble, and he cannot create. Because he has no other no other creative projects that he's stepped forward with. Besides some children's book. Oh, it's like such a terrible title, too. Oh, man, there's a lot I want to say about that. We'll get to it.
I think that's the real key, is to create the work as a gift and then not let yourself be altered, changed, tainted, or darkened. And if you can do that, you have succeeded. And your children benefit, other ones benefit from you having walked that rail and made it. So I just think I just want to share that.
Yes, definitely. And
that's a funny thing. These are being made all the time now. They're being made all the time and sent to me. It's so funny. They have one of my mom swinging her hair all. So it's like kind of cool, Christine, when you get that side of it where people start feeding the love, So we're on that side. So I'd say to anybody, hang in there. If you're working from a good heart.
They're using AI now to make Tom look good.
Hang in there. It'll only get better. But go ahead, yes.
Yeah. So both of you obviously have a passion for creating God-inspired work, and it was stolen. And so tell us about why they steal authors' work. Why do they do that?
Women first.
Yes, Christine.
Okay. Well, I have a couple other thefts I'd like to just discuss briefly, if I may.
Sure.
Okay. First, I don't know if you can see this. My Be Friendship Focused Mentor's Guide for Children ages 8 through 12. And it is encourages, it's an 8 to 10 week process that encourages better self-empowerment, conflict resolution.
Before I share my story, let me send you to my Amazon store where my book is available for $19.99.
And anti-bullying, which we know there's been an uptake on that. It's always existed, but it's really gotten out of hand, especially with, all the social media and blah, blah. At any rate, my daughter was bullied in middle school by mean girls. I ended up going to the National Mean Girls Conference. Swear to Buddha, that was the name, in Orlando. Happened to me.
Swear to Buddha? So we got Tom, that's a Jew that's pretending to be a Christian. And we have Christine, that's a Buddhist?
Serendipitously, the producers who then invited me to speak at their event the following year after I shared about my...
Hey Frankie, good to see you here. Yeah, we're watching an interview from December 14th of just this past December. Michael Jaco has brought this lady on kind of as a padding to make Tom more convincing. That's basically what we've come to the conclusion to so far.
My daughter's story. Why? Because my background, I'm a family therapist and also an educational psychologist. And so about a month before I was to go to Vegas to this big event, I woke up and went, oh my goodness, I need a product. So that's when I created this mentor's guide, and working in school systems, knowing that unfortunately there's a lot of good-hearted people, but the training isn't always available, the mentoring and the guidance. And actually, so when I started promoting my program on my own time after school for kids, I was met with a lot of aggression, if you will, from some of my colleagues. This is not your job. You're supposed to be assessing, for special education. And I said, I'm doing this on my own time, and I love children, and they need the help. And my daughter and I created an Oracle card deck. We're both very artistic, and we did a 26-card manipulative, a word for every letter of the alphabet, like A, the word appreciate. We have a painting of a lion looking at a frog, and the opening sentence, what do I really appreciate about you? A conversation starter. Well, I went around the United States for about 2 years, largely on my own dime, selling the books and the cards to offset my travel. Once in a while, I got paid to speak, but I wasn't a keynote or anything like that, so I really did it for the love of the children. And in the process of that, and that's a whole other story, I came across a wannabe talent for singing and created an album, but I don't have to go into that now. At any rate, so there's that. And then I created my other book, which is Relation Shift, How to Write the Words You Really Want to Say. And I coined this sort of unique coaching tool, sort of being like Cyrano de Bergerac.
So she misspelled her name in her Zoom here. But you notice what Tom put in for his name? Creator of the Matrix. No, you're not, you lying asshole.
In drag. Okay, so I download intuitively the right words that a client wants to say to rebuild, to transform any type of relationship stress or woe within any dynamic whatsoever. People that have been estranged, one man for 30 years from his daughter, one letter she got back in his life. I mean, just amazing things. I write eulogies to die for. I coin it. I do a lot of things like that. I happen to get wonderful endorsements from John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Catherine Woodward Thomas, Conscious Uncoupling, Calling in the One, Ariel Ford, Deepak Chopra's publicist, who wrote The Soulmate Secret, and Dr. Christiane Northrup, who's an icon for women. Both of these books, unfortunately, I started out, the people that were putting on the conferences for the children, they published me initially. I was working full time. I was a single mother, and they wanted me to come back and do more and more work, which I didn't have the time off to do so. So I opted out of their publishing and just self-published. And likewise with the relationship book, I started off self-publishing it. Then I went on the Marketer's Cruise, which is, a very uppity event for a lot of people in social media and marketing and creatives and whatnot. And I met this gentleman who encouraged me very strongly to publish with his firm. And
I'll say this much for Tom. Tom's going to be involved in that in the next 5 to 10 years if he continues down this path with Michael Jaco and Brian Singh, who Brian Singh is the guy that connected him through to the UFO conferences. What does the Matrix have to do with UFOs? The hell if Tom knows. But he's going to these conferences to speak about this topic of the theft of his script from Hollywood, allegedly. But he's speaking on this at the UFO conference. Tell me how those two relate at all. They don't.
Unfortunately.
But Tom is going to get involved, most likely, with Brian Singh wanting to produce some content for him. And he's going to get rug pulled, and he'll go cry about it for months on end at other podcasts and YouTube channels. It's just a matter of time. And that's if he continues associating with these people. But you know what? Like, who's going to stop him at this point? He's not going to listen to me.
It was a ripoff, a total ripoff. And I've encountered so many other people. I've tried the cease and desist letters through Legal Shield because it's very pricey to go to court and go through all of that. And so despite all of that, it's been a nothing burger. And so I'm now in the process of hiring another individual, not a publisher, to reformat, republish, new covers, probably change even the subtitles, redo it all.
Yeah, see, she got her rights held hostage for book publishing. So, not only did she have her script stolen by sitting down with a professor and talking for 2 hours, which is just weird in general, but then she gets 2 books published after the script, and then she loses the rights to the books too. Like I said last week, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think that applies to both these individuals here.
And then try to promote it to the best of my ability. And again, being a writer, and Tom, I'm sure you can relate to this. You don't go in it like, oh, I'm going to be rich. You go in it, like you said, because you have a calling. You have
No, Tom is talking about how he's worth $1.2 billion. That's all Tom is concerned about here. And he thinks he's going to leave his son that inheritance. That's a big lie to tell your son.
There's something you want your life purpose to be expounded and to influence others. I've been through amazingly traumatic events. My life has literally been a roller coaster. Things that you couldn't make up. They're so beautiful and amazing, and other things it's like, what the heck?
I'll tell you this much, Tom. There's a lot of people that used to watch your stuff that now only watch it through this channel. Like, you had a lot of loyal people, including myself, that now don't buy any of your bullshit anymore.
How did you even survive that? And I survived it to my best ability because for some unknown reason, and I want to say it was my soul's contract, I never went on the poor me pity party, but I thought of it like, okay, this is a learning curve. I can surmount, I can move past this and influence.
Yeah, maybe 5 more books published and stolen will give you the idea of what not to do.
Influence others to do the same. You don't allow other people or circumstances to degrade you or bury you alive. You get your big girl pants on or whatever, your big boy pants, and you show up as a positive influencer. And I won't let, no matter what, no one's going to stop that mission for me to do. So I truly believe that.
Yeah, so those are good points. Basically, they're out there watching for people like all of us, that have great information that's going to help humanity, and they hijack it on purpose to benefit for themselves and also to stop you from bringing great insights. Now, I mean, you look at your work, Christine, and it's like, my God, everybody would benefit massively from this, but that's why they come in and stop it out. Tom, tell us about how they basically hijacked you, and you've been on a mission to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, this is a great show. I'm so glad the 3 of us are here together because this just feeds me, and it made me think of when Christine was talking.
Yeah, it makes Tom look better by having someone else that is claiming to have work stolen. Gives Tom more validity, right?
Like, we do it as a service. We want to lift humanity. We want to offer a gift to humanity, and we benefit in the end, whether our intention is or not. We're going to benefit in the end better than if we were going for money or something. And so you asked the question too, why do they do it? And what's interesting is, Michael, things were restored in my home, like original draft pieces and everything. And some of
the break-in without a break-in. The feds returned his scripts on his bed while he was at a UFO conference in Florida last year. Really? Really?
those original draft pieces were scenes that I have right here that were used for Sense8 after the case was thrown. And
again, just a quick flash. We're not going to see anything there. even if we
Yeah,
tried.
better than if we were going for money or something. And so you ask the question too, why do they do it?
He is going for money. He's said it several times. Recently, it's the $1.2 billion number. But he was willing to settle for 30 grand in 2014 to make all of it go away so he could move on with his life. He's not moving on with his life, is he?
And what's interesting is, Michael, you know, things were restored in my home, like the original draft piece.
Now, the best I could do here is zoom in, and we'll do that. But you'll see that it is... you can't even see it. You can't read anything on this. And this is the highest resolution of this video. It's all pixelated.
And everything. And some of those original draft pieces were scenes that I have right here that were used for Sense8.
It's just going on and on and on and on. We're calling it all out.
The case was thrown. And in it, you have an answer to that question in this phrase from Smith. He says, when Trinity says in the original work, why did you do this to my family? Why? Why? He goes, because it was fun.
Trinity's not in his script. Smith is not in his script. Neo is not in his script. Morpheus is not in his script. The Matrix is not in his script.
And really it comes down to that. And there's a thing in Black Sails.
The iPad is not in his script. Neuralink by name is not in his script.
The pirate thing. The character who plays Long John Silver, he's fretting because he has this African American girlfriend, Caribbean, and he wants to be a good man. And he's asked, you know, what happens when you're going in the dark side? Why is the dark side so compelling? He says, because it feels good. So our answer really is a very shallow, lizard-like answer that causes them to do everything they're doing.
So how does Tom not know whether what he's experiencing is evil? If the people that do bad and evil things say that it feels good to them. Without discernment, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, would you?
I was told too, don't look for that answer of why they've done it to us, because you're not going to find anything deep, nothing satisfying. You got those that serve and do creative work as a service, and you got those that take because they feel entitled and they want to gain and they'll get it any way they want, sell their grandmothers out. So this scene, though, that I had, I was so excited to get this back when that stuff was restored to my home, you know, and I believe it's the CIA film department that did it. Really, because who else can break into my home and restore the stuff in my bed?
The CIA film department. Do you see this clown?
You know, it's like, you know, right there's my original drafts that were gone, which is Warner Brothers' plan to stop that. And in this, you see how I call it the neuro link. I call it the neuro right here in the original pages. It's called.
No, he's lying again. It's not called the Neuralink in his script. He straight up lied here. Neuralink, neuro with an O, and then neural with an AL. Neural enhancer, a generic name, not a brand name in his script. No schematics, nothing for a patent, no designs, no theories on how it works. Just in script application.
That were gone, which is Warner Brothers' plan to stop that. And in
a box on the back of the head. Does that sound like a jack in the back of the neck to you? Like the Wachowskis used?
this, you see how the
which is connected to Ghost in the Shell.
I call it the neuro link. I call it the neuro right here in the original pages. It's called neuro before even they gave it to Elon Musk.
Neural enhancer.
So Jackson, it's right here, and that was restored to me. It says if the neuro timer is working correctly.
Neuro timer. These are all generic terms used not as brand names of devices that are available in his plot. He's conflating two different things to try to take credit for something Elon Musk is pursuing.
It's all neuro before even they gave it to Elon Musk. So Jackson Neck is right here. And that was restored to me. It says, if the neuro timer is working correctly, and what happens is, Trinity is actually in the original work, just throws out real quick. Trinity is part of the...
Neural means to do with the brain. It's not a copyrighted thing. So this is something else that, like, the judge gave the statement on his whole case that got thrown out because he left his deposition. The judge says that these are all just tropes that are not copyrightable. It's like trying to claim time travel.
Smith organization. She's trained. That's why she's so skilled. Is she's trained to be a hit babe, if you will. She's trained to work for the agents. But her memories have been erased, and she was Neo's wife in the original story. And her memories are erased, and she's made like a Femme Nikita to take out Neo in the end. And what happens is there's a face-off, and if do I have a couple minutes to just read this to you? You want to? Okay, listen to this real quick. I'll try to be fast. But
no, instead of Tom taking all the time he needs to get his message out, oh, I'll be really quick. Here's the script. Was that fast enough for your audience? Can barely see it.
Get the gist of this, and they put it in Sense 8. And this is the best scene, I think, one of the best scenes that tell you. I was trying to say that women have worth. You know, as a writer, a gift part of that was women have worth. Hollywood didn't know what to make of it. There's stuff guys going like, you know, what do you mean? What do you mean? So you have this where...
Keep in mind that Tom has been talking to a female audience for a very long time. And Michael Jaco has nothing but a female audience for the most part. It's a majority female audience. He actually had a panel like Penny Ellie Shepherd does, where it's like 20 people on a Zoom call. And like 18 of them are women. And there's like 2 guys on it, besides Mike.
Trinity faces off with Neo after she's been reprogrammed by Smith to be the hit person with all memories wiped. And Smith is waiting in the shadow.
He consistently uses Wachowski's names from the Matrix scripts to describe his Immortal script. He is substituting all of his character names out.
And Neo knows this. Now watch what happens. So Neo's talking to Trinity going, we had a daughter. They took that relationship out. And
he's very well trained in substituting his own characters' names that are different from the Wachowski's names. He's so well trained of just talking about, oh, well, in my script, Trinity did this, and Neo did this, and Smith did that. That's not their names in his script.
Trinity says, I had a daughter. And Neo says, yes. And she's at gunpoint with him, has a gunpoint. She goes, yes, and you killed her. Raises the gun.
Like, think about the amount of time and practice that Thomas had to do to just easily, with flow, replace all of his character names as they were in the Immortals and just refer to them all as the Wachowski's characters. That in itself is theft of intellectual copyright, in a way, right? Or intellectual property.
On Cooley to shoot and fires. He is trained, right? So she just fires and shoots him. Neo is stunned, as are we, it says. He's wounded. And then you have Trinity go, my orders are to finish you slowly. Right? Now listen what happens. Then what happens is Neo struggles to maintain his wits and fight the pain. And Neo says, if I killed your daughter...
The pulp coming from him? You hear that? It sounded like a gunshot in there. That's crazy.
Now watch what happens. So Neo's talking to Trinity going, we had a daughter. They took that relationship out. And Trinity says, I had a daughter. And Neo says, yes. And she's at gunpoint with him, has a gunpoint. She goes, yes, and you killed her. Raises the gun coolly to shoot and fires. He is trained, right? So she just fires and shoots him. And Neo is stunned, as are we, it says. He's wounded. And then you have Trinity go, my orders are to
what is that?
finish you slowly. Right? Now listen what happens. Then what
it sounds like it's happening on Christine's thing.
happens is Neo struggles to maintain his wits and fight the pain. And Neo says, if I killed your daughter, then I deserve to die. And Trinity says, shoots again him in the stomach, saying, I'm feeling it. Yes. Now Neo is in terrible pain near panic. They didn't have the scene. Trinity says, yes, you do. Neo, are you enjoying this, Berenger? Or Smith? He calls out to the shadows. And Smith appears.
See, he slips up. Tom slips up and says the real name in his script, Berenger. That's who he claims is Smith. But he's practiced so well at substituting his own character names out for the Wachowski's character names that all he does is talk in Neo, Trinity, Smith, Morpheus. No, none of these characters exist in the Immortals.
In terrible pain, near panic. They didn't have the scene. Trinity says, yes, you do. Neo, are you enjoying this, Berenger? Or Smith? He calls out the shadows. And Smith appears. Now follow this. Smith says, yes, yes, I am. He's enjoying it, right? And then Trinity, you hear the passion for the scene, I'm sorry, but Trinity looks confused, and Smith says, oh, do continue, dear. Is he dying? Meaning Neo. She says, yes. She goes, and Smith says, quite certain? That robot-like, high-quality thing? She goes, yes, I shot him in the artery in the stomach. He will bleed to death in a matter of minutes. Then Smith says to Jim, good, isn't she? Then to Trinity, then it's time I told you he was your husband, you know. Trinity goes, I don't understand. Smith says,
Have you guys watched Rick and Morty? There's an episode that's it's making fun of the Purge movies, and Morty goes into the one author's house. They need to use like his roof for like getting a signal and building an antenna. So in order to get permission to use his house, he's like, well, you gotta sit down and listen to my script. And Morty's like, okay. Sits down, listens to this guy read his script, and he starts reading it kind of like how Tom is. So-and-so says this, and then this, and he says it this way. And he's like, as a director, you don't tell your actors how to use inflection on line delivery. You guide them to where you want them to go with how to portray it, but you don't mimic how you want them to sound. A good screenwriter does it without directly saying it.
oh, and did I mention that I killed your daughter? And Neo goes, kill him, honey. And Trinity goes, confused, she raises her gun at Smith. Smith says, go ahead, honey, pull the trigger.
When you tell an actor how to deliver a line, you're taking that actor's job away. An actor is to read the script and interpret it. If you're a poor screenwriter, yeah, you'll be doing exactly what Tom's doing here and over-explaining line delivery.
Neo's like, shoot him. Smith says, oh, but she can't, can you, darling? Oh no, she would become violently ill if she shot me. If it's in her programming that we can't, even that altered stuff is there. Then Trinity says, why are you telling me these things? And Smith says, I wanted you to know the truth in the end before you both die. And all
Trinity says, Smith said, no, none of these characters are in here, first and foremost. Second, if you're a proper screenwriter, you're not saying says for each character's line.
my existence, I've wanted for this time when you and I would watch Neo die, and it was you who killed him. Your memory should be returning right about now through the neuro timer. If the neuro timer is working correctly, this is the bad thing about Neuralink. Then Trinity looks dazed and screams as the memories start coming back and covers her ears. Trinity.
He is continually referring to his characters that have different names as the names that are in the Matrix made by the Wachowskis. If he truly valued his idea and his own work, he wouldn't be doing that.
He goes, oh my God, no! Smith says, obviously it's working. Not happy memories, I'm afraid. And Neo's like, baby. And then Smith says, you see, now I get to watch you both suffer at the same time. Why do they take our work? They want to see us suffer, right? And he says to Neo, you see, let me tell you about it. Multiple memories of multiple brutal rapes, watching your daughter burn, seeing footage of her death. You get the idea. Kodak moments, everyone, I assure you. Neo tries to get a hold of his gun, holding his gut with a blight.
He's reading his script and substituting all his character names. Talk about grand theft of an idea. It's Tom doing it, not the Wachowskis.
He can. Smith says, even if you could manage to crawl to me, he pulls a gun. I'll shoot you dead myself. My final treat. Oh, but how boring the world will be without you two in it, which is something I want to address in a moment after you guys share. And he says, without you two in it. Oh, well, all good things. Raises the gun. The gun explodes out of his hand as he's had it fired at, and Trinity has shot it out of his hand. She can't kill him, but she can shoot it out of his hand. Smith says, now dear, you're being tiresome now. And Trinity says, near hysterics, here it comes. You know, F you bastard. What do you do? Why'd you do this to my family? Why? And Smith.
It's not, those names aren't on the piece of paper he's reading. I hope you all understand this. Like, if you're a first-time viewer here, this guy, Tom Althouse, he's claiming he's the creator of the Matrix. He's not. He wrote a script called The Immortals about bringing Jews back to life through cryopods. And that Hitler's grandson is running the world. Like, What does that have to do with the Matrix again? Oh, that's right. Nothing.
Then says, because it was fun, he laughs slightly, not allowed to show emotion. Now, don't interfere again. You can't kill me, but I can kill you. And Neo says, what's the difference? We're both dead. Smith, good point. I'll stop right there. Because if we get this all restored, we'll actually make the scene. But the point is, all of that's in there. Why they mess with us, how they enjoy messing with us, and the Neuralink will restore memories in a bad way, where they can time it. That is the original Matrix story, where the reason Neo ends up going to Underground is he gets a word, she's still alive. The architect planned it to release at a certain time, she's still alive, to send him on a cause-effect trail to Underground. You see what I'm saying? It's all there and they didn't know what to make of it. But I love this scene. I think it's very important because it's a scene that they took the relationship out between Trinity and Neo and made it dumb. It should have been they were in love, married, had a daughter, a little girl at the train station, restored life at the end. And so the end in Matrix, what it's supposed to be is Trinity and the little girl both.
Train station, as far as we've read from his Immortal script, it has to do with World War II. It has nothing to do with a subway in modern day Chicago, turn of the century Chicago.
Restored to life, joining Neo, watching the identical figures facing off. Does it make any sense? Or did I just scramble? It's a lot. Layers. This is layers from the story that they stripped and didn't understand and simplified. That makes sense? So I could go on and on. I won't. But on and on with all these different things that are in there that are layered, and that gets my passion going. And I want to, like we said, we're trying to do as a service to inspire.
I can go on and on about how many layered coincidences are in it. By the way, I don't believe in coincidence. But this guy is straight up lying here.
I just scramble.
He gets right up to the edge of, like, explaining the matchups. And he's like, oh, no, I don't want to take up your time. Dude, you're on this dude's show.
It's a lot. Layers. This is layers from the story that they stripped and didn't understand and simplified. That makes sense? So I could go on and on. I won't. But on and on with all these different things that are...
I can go on and on, but I won't. What is he doing going from show to show, but going on and on about the same basic step one, chapter one shit?
In there that are layered, and that gets my passion going. And I want to, like we said, we're trying to do as a service to inspire other people's passion. When you dissect the scene, there's a lot going on. And it's like, it really shows that, you know, that Smith really has an agenda that's horrible. He's letting the memories restore. So he watches her suffer after she's fatally wounded, the man she loves, but had her memories erased about it, timing it so they come back after she's already fatally wounded, and he made sure that she has. Anyway, back to you guys.
Wow.
So I have this thing that's you gave me a video of this, and it's just running. I can't stop it. So that's what's in the background. So I'm just going to ask another quick question. So your passion and creativity obviously is stolen. What did you mean? What did you want for this to be represented as?
Go ahead, Christine.
Oh,
What the heck is... So that's coming from Michael Jacobs' feed. That's nuts. How can you not stop something like that? You're hosting a show. What is it, a video clip that is on loop? It's like some MK Ultra shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking Tom. So you want to know what was the theme of what was stolen from me? Okay. Well, in essence, from my Private Benjamin story, like the professor said, it was the best material that had ever crossed his desk. And what I was sharing about it was kind of a romance comedy. It wasn't a deep story like Tom has, with those kinds of layers to it. But it was about, girl power. And let us not forget, this Private Benjamin, I'm totally aging myself, came out in the 70s. Okay, so, before all the women's libbish stuff was out. And so I think it was a precursor for some of that in kind of a humorous way. But what?
How old is this woman? What, is she older than Tom? Is she in her 70s?
And actually, if I had given myself the opportunity to finish the whole...
She said the movie came out in the 70s. Which means, like, the earliest she could have written the script is in her teens? Maybe in her 20s? Like, am I wrong here? We're talking 50 years removed from that.
Story of it, it would have had the dark side of the moon on that, because I had some near-death experiences when I was in the military and had gone through a variety of wake-up calls to this and that. California Beach Bunny Girl was introduced to very interesting times. I'll put it that way. And I learned to kind of, like you say, not fall apart. There were women I was in the military with that had to get out, and they couldn't handle it for one reason or another. But it really, the gift for me was that I got to recognize my own fortitude, and that I didn't have somebody that I could run home to. I was 6,000 miles away from home. My parents did come to visit me once, and they wanted to go to Munich, and I said, "Oh, heck no, we're going to Paris. I've been there." So, but yeah, so if I were to look in retrospect, that story of starting out at a young age and going into this whole other, it's like going to another planet, really, to Germany, and to be in the young age.
Hold on, what was that?
If I were to look in retrospect, that
Talk to Christine for 20 minutes absolutely free. Then you got to pay.
Story of starting out at a young age and going into this whole other, it's like going to another planet, really, to Germany, and to be in the whole social political arena of females it was a time when they were starting to go into the military like never before. So it was, very, it was an innovative experience, I'll put it that way. But I think all the bumps along the road there that I had, and it was, I was nearly killed a couple of times. But because I learned to move through it and past it, I'm pretty much a fearless person. And Michael, I think you could probably attest to what I'm saying, because you were in the military and you, I'm sure, encountered some pretty heavy duty circumstances. And when you can rise above it and move forward, and even though in my experience, we were so belittled, in many ways, because I wouldn't date the guys, I was put into a closed off dark room where I was taking, old papers from manuals, and what was outdated, removing them and putting new ones in all day long by myself, because I wouldn't date the men. They gave me the worst jobs. And then when I got my gumption up and I said, okay, that's it one day, somebody just said something that said the wrong thing, I got my Irish up and I just stomped out. I said, that's it, I'm done. I am done. And this guy's marching after me. Hey, private, what do you think you're doing? And I got up to the captain's office and I said, I'm not, no one's treating me like this, what I've just gone through. And he said, okay, hey, you've already invested 9 months into it. How about I make you put you on our monthly newsletter, and you could write articles for it, and you can have your little office next to mine so you can't be bugged by anybody. And I said, can I wear a skirt? Yes. Okay. So I was writing these articles that were very sarcastic, but nobody.
She's in the military, she doesn't want to be approached by men, and she asks if she can wear a skirt.
Caught on, okay. And then I had a terrible incident where guys pushed into my apartment, and
isn't like a beach bunny like these women that go to the beach all the time to get looked at? Like, a little contradictory here.
Terrible incident where guys pushed into my apartment, and it was bad, very, very, very bad. And I got transferred again. The first place that I ended up was a town called Permessance near the French border near Trier, France, famous for their shoes, but I'll tell you, they were all the wrong kind, clodhoppers. But anyway, I grew up in Southern California. My dad's best friend happened to be African American. I did not ever have any issues around people of color, but I turned out to be the only Caucasian female in the unit. And every night I was told by the women that they were going to, bury my honky ass, okay, suffocate me, whatever. And so I literally cried my way out of that place, went to the next, where I had the issue where I was locked up in this room because I wouldn't date the men. Then I had a terrible experience, and then I was shifted off to another place. But the third place was interesting, and I ended up teaching swimming to the children at the German Schwimmbad, much to the chagrin of some of the others, but nevertheless. And I fell in love for the first time with a wonderful man, and had many adventures, and that's a whole story in and of itself. But again, back to Goldie Hawn version, Private Benjamin, the underlying politics, if you will, or what have you, was there, and I really wanted to show women that in spite of, you can stand your ground with dignity and grace. And that's
that movie would have been so much different if you'd been able to inject some of the trauma that you went through, because some of that trauma has been a great impetus for your success with the other work that you've done.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm going to tell you one trauma story, if I may. Is it okay on your show?
It's up to you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you one trauma story. So when I had gone, you go to boot camp, and then I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia, I think it was, or was it Fort McClellan, Alabama, I guess, to learn the Signal Corps stuff. Then I came home before going to the to Germany, and I was home for a month. And I went to mail a letter, and I walked out in my 504 jeans and t-shirt and sweater and socks and sandals and mailed.
Let's take a look at Tom's sip here. Looking at body language, it's very important that we do.
And
watch this.
Walk down.
That. What is that?
And I was home for a month. And I went to mail a letter, and I
We have to slow it down a bit.
walked out in my 504
Missed it. All right, let's try one more
to
time.
the to Germany, and I was home for a month. And I went to mail a letter, and I walked out.
There. This like little twitch he does. You see that? Eh.
When-
That's scary. What are we? It's at 38 minutes in there.
to the to Germany, and I was home for a month. And I went to mail a letter, and I walked out in my 504.
Okay, that's enough of that. We're actually making really good time today. We're going to be finished with this interview in a very short time here, which is good.
Jeans and t-shirt and sweater and socks and sandals, and mailed the letter. And I thought, God, it's a beautiful day. I used to be, I used to surf all the time. So I'm going to go down and see if I can see some of my surfing buddies. So I go down to San Clemente Beach, and it's around dusk. It's in May, the month of May. And I walk out, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I feel this body next to me. It's this giant Marine. And he goes, looks like it's going to be a nice sunset. And I got this immediate OMG, right? And I grew up in San Clemente near Count Pendleton. There was always that flavor. Young girls were always being harassed in one way or another, and you just learned to kind of deal with it. So
she just thinks everyone's coming on to her. Both Tom and Christine here, they sound like they're perpetual victims, don't they? I'm not writing off that, like, women were taken advantage of in the past, but, like, come on, like, everyone she encounters wants to get with her?
I said, yeah, it is. And I turn around and leave. He goes, do you mind if I walk with you? Yes, I do. And he stopped me by the arm, and he said, kiss me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was low tide, so there was no surfer buddies out there. It was pretty much a barren beach. And I said, please get your hand off of me. And I saw one other guy down about 50 yards away, and he goes, don't even bother yelling at, he's my buddy. And he was. And they both dragged me under the railroad tracks underneath and tore all my clothes off. And I was brutally raped for hours and told how I would be killed and how I would be in the newspaper with a broken neck and this and that. And at one point I knew I had an opportunity where I could run, where they didn't have me, I wasn't restrained. And I had visions of being younger, where my older brother would chase me on the beach, and he would
Sorry, Christine, you're on here with Tom, and Tom is a liar. So this doesn't help your credibility by you continuing to be on the show with these two assholes here.
always catch me. And I thought, they'll drown me. I'm not going that way. So like I said, I was barely 19 years old, and it was the innate psychologist came out in me, and I put on the best Academy Award act where I soothed the main rapist and said, I really think I'm falling in love with you. Please don't leave me, and don't tell me you're just going to stay and you're not. I want you to come home with me. And I'm stroking his back and all this. And he's like, yeah, okay. And I said, your friend can come too. I don't want him to be out in the cold. And, and I'm in the military. And he goes, yeah, we can get married. I mean, right? Oh yeah. So I am walking at 10 o'clock at night down the beach in the dark, 1 foot at a time. In my head, the mantra, I will live, I will live, I will live. And all of a sudden I stopped. I said, it's really cold. Do you mind? Can I put my clothes on? I mean, this is how it was. Okay. So the friend grabbed my torn up clothes and I wrapped them around me, put on the jeans as best I could. And when we walked to the pier, it was as if I had divine intervention, because there was a little cafe with a light on. It was open and there were surfers in there sitting at this cafe bar. And I said, it's so cold. Why don't we have coffee? Okay. So we walk in slowly. As soon as I walked in and there were other live humans, I broke away, sat down at the stool. The surfer looks at me and goes, hey babe, how's it going? And I could barely talk. And the guy behind the counter, he said, what? I said, great. He grabs a butcher knife and leaps over the counter after the guys. And the other surfers, because there was a lot of the surfers in the military didn't get along. They were on different, perceived sides of the pole or whatever. Anyway, they thought that he just had animosity towards the Marines, and they grabbed him, the guy with the knife, and let them take off. The police were called. They turned it over to the military. The military does nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. Oh, and then you hear, and then like I said, I had multiple incidences I won't go into at this time, but where in those days, at least, they were just sent off. There was no martial courts or anything, martial law or anything like that happening. It was like, okay, but I survived that. Part of me really resented the fact that my parents didn't say, okay, you're not going to the military, you're going to stay home. But I was a week later on my way to Germany. And I thought, what parent would allow their kid that just went through this to do. But what I learned and what I want to inspire other people, those kinds of resentments, there's a bigger plan, because my soul, I know, signed up for all of this, because I moved past it and actually felt more empowered. And people would say, can you still go to beaches? Can you go to San Clemente? Oh yeah. Because other people that have been victims of violence, they associate the geography of it or, some familiarity, and they go, oh, I can't do that, I can't do it. It's like, no one is holding me back from taking a bite out of life in any way and being truly present for who I am and what I need to do and what I'm inspired to do and to really help others. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm having a really hard time believing her, because she's on here with Tom. Sorry, Christine. You gotta wisen up to who these two people are up above you here.
Definitely happy you pushed through that, and now you're sharing all this great work. Tom, I know you've been through traumatic experience as well.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you guys. I'm so sorry. It's like, I do want to share something though.
Come on, let's hear Tom talk about Pat Robertson's group trying to rape him, right? It could be true, but Tom lies about so many things, his credibility is zero here.
They translated over the Matrix. I don't want to have trouble just jumping to this now after that story.
I'm sorry.
Pause. So it's like, it deserves attention, what you said. And maybe a documentary, a real life story like they're talking about in mine. Yours just
false minimizing of his own story.
Deserves that. So it feels weird going right into my situation, but if I would just say, the idea of cause and effect is in the Matrix, right? People's choices, this kind of applies to what you were talking about, people's choices. My belief system was that God knows every choice we're going to make.
Why wouldn't he talk about Pat Robertson here? Because that's the closest thing related to this. He's sent out in a camper with Pat Robertson's group. He's sent alone with another pastor. That didn't ring a bell for Tom to bring that story up. That's why I say all this is bullshit.
And that as his children, that every choice we're going to make, he knows ahead of time, and that he gives us clues to that. Remember I said I wanted to see his face. I wanted to have her prove ourselves. I get like a chance instead of revelations to prove ourselves as his children. And these things keep happening to me now, like this clothespin right here. The name Greg is on it, right? What's interesting about this clothespin is we did the garage sale, got my mom safely down to Texas now, right under the nose of that FBI congressman. If you know my story, that he's been trying to, Baker Act constantly. Why? Because I wrote
I've been to an event where probably CIA type came and targeted you.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. And so,
So Tom was able to move his mother into the house in Texas that she bought for him. She finally moved in. Penny L.A. Shepherd almost took that spot. Instead of Tom's mother, it was going to be L.A. Shepherd.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you.
His mother convinced him not to let Penny L.A. Shepherd move in. She would have never moved out. She would have made it a pigsty. Rats would have came in and made their homes. It happened at Susie's place. Penny just moved in. Tom was ready and willing to bring Penny into his house until he ran it by his own mother, and his mother said no. Well, that's good that she's living there now with him, right?
Yeah. And it's like, so I put on all these clothes that my mom was selling, including all this stuff, have a garage sale while we're doing interviews, while we're clearing the house out, getting ready for sale, the Matrix house. And so I'm taking clothespins down. I'm thinking about the guy who worked with me, who's like a childhood friend that worked on
the Matrix house. Is that why he cut a piece of carpet out and said, "This is where I stood when I got the idea"? I thought it was with Pat Robertson's group when that happened.
the fight sequences with me and did an affidavit to that effect, and he had spin it proof or seen that the work was finished in 93. So I'm thinking about Greg and how I don't see Greg anymore, and I'd like to contact Greg. The next clothespin I picked up was this, and had Greg on it. And there's another example is I want to share with you, just to give encouragement to people that God, I believe, not to be preachy here, but I believe God knows like you said, Christine, he allows us to go through these things because I think the creative work in our case is coming out of what we've gone through. You had to be in a dark place to write The Matrix, right? And your story is riddled with that also. And so
he did not write The Matrix. Again, he's claiming he wrote The Matrix. He didn't fucking write The Matrix.
The creative work in our case is coming out of what we've gone through. You had to be in a dark place to write The Matrix, right? And your story is riddled with that also.
To the one commenter that said I'm spewing bullshit, saying that Tom never claimed to have written The Matrix, he just did it again here. Like, I'm going to keep calling it out every time he brings it up. He's a liar. That's what this show's all about, to bring to light all the lies that this asshole's perpetuating onto the public here.
And so what I learned is that, like, another thing, I was thinking the other day about Game of Thrones, because that was done in-house with Warner Bros. and HBO, who put their names on
Here he goes. Here he goes, bringing Game of Thrones into it.
my copyright title, Mortals. And then I was thinking about the tickler, believe it or not. Now here's another example of the clothespin idea. Is God there? Does he have everything there instead of just red dress, cause and effect? Or are we slaves to that? Or does God already have a plan for us and working together to make everything happen exactly as he wants it in his timing? So what happens, I'm thinking about the tickler, that very phrase, the tickler, which was a torturer in the Game of Thrones, if some people are familiar with that series like that. And so then I go to play this podunk game, which as a creative, you probably realize, you know, if you'll watch, do something non-thinking to free your mind. You have to do an activity to free your mind from constant creativity. So I picked this, not to knock it, World of Tanks. It's so simple, it's insane. It's like peeling an orange. So I'm playing World of Tanks just to just do it, just clear my mind. And the first tank I'm facing is the tickler. It's all the names I could choose. So I'm going to say, God knows exactly what our future is, our interactions, what choices, and the beauty of it is.
So Tom spends most of his day watching Netflix and playing the video game World of Tanks. You heard it from him here.
If we are one of those that serve instead of feel entitled, we have a beautiful future ahead to meet amazing people like yourselves together and do great work. And it's almost like I feel God's blessing us ahead of time because he knows we're going to make good decisions. And in the Matrix itself, the idea is also like you can trust yourself, you can trust others, and have beautiful relationships around that kind of idea. It's like I believe in the Matrix itself. What I was trying to put in there was man tries to outwit God, God outwits man, because God already knows this is what's going to happen. Man doesn't realize God already has it planned out. So we keep getting these clues that show us.
Tom is 66 years old. And he's playing World of Tanks and watching Netflix. Yeah, Mom, give me 1 minute. I'll help you with the garage sale. And I found another matchup on the Game of Thrones. And World of Tanks I was playing earlier, it had a name from Game of... Like, dude, what the fuck is this guy doing?
I mean, there's no debating it.
That is amazing.
And more as we get to the finality of our journeys, we realize we have nothing to feel sorry about, nothing to feel guilt or anything. We've walked.
There's the narcissist. Nothing to feel guilty about, nothing to feel sorry about.
The impossible walks, the impossible dream. And to do that, you come to a beautiful time where you realize you walked a golden walk and you get to share it with others. It's like that Troy movie. I was in the time of Achilles. I was in the time of Ajax. I was in the time of Christine. I was in the time of Michael Jacob. And it's like I celebrate this time because we've done well. We've done very well. The audience, the world will catch up to realize our work. We have the proof and everything, and the more the other side dance, the more they're going to be
We have the proof and everything, but we'll never show it. Here, let me flash the script for 5 seconds so you can barely read it.
confused and run. But what's happening right now, one last thing, I don't need to take up all the time, but what's happening right now is
I don't mean to take up all your time. You have the floor, asshole. Share your story. Get to the point. But you know he's not going to.
Netflix is trying to do a takeover of Warner Brothers, but they're all the same animal. The same people are at Netflix that are at Warner Brothers. And you got this thing with the Obamas now. The Obamas did this huge investment. It says the Obamas are connected to Netflix through their production company, Higher Ground Productions. They signed a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce television shows and movies. They're going to try to claim credit for The Matrix along with Warner Brothers. Meanwhile, Paramount's trying to do
Oh, Tom.
hostile takeover because the same execs that were at my deposition went to Paramount and went to Netflix. So what you got is Netflix and Paramount both vying for claim of the Matrix story, which we're going to reclaim now that high-level attorneys are stepping forward and say, we can do this. Bold words to my ears. We can do this because Matrix was never claimed. So
This was 8 years ago. This May. The Obamas have a production company with Netflix. I don't know how Tom is thinking the Obamas are trying to get the rights to the Matrix. Oh my. So is that the next thing he's going to start talking about? Who knows?
Den of Thieves is battling right now. I want to encourage writers out there, all of you. They're battling over my very work and the Neuralink. They're battling over it, which is the signal of their downfall. Thieves' story, which we're going to reclaim now.
Oh, wow. I mean, Michael Yako put this up on his... The internet cut out of OBS while I was showing that. Not sure why. I was just reading what is being shown here. It says, I would love fielded to a question of elements that were intended in the original works, content or themes close to the heart, that were altered or left out in the remakes of the work. Well, we never get to that. He always wants to wrap it up quickly. We're never going to get detailed information from Tom. I think that's a given, though.
Now that high-level attorneys are stepping forward and say, we can do this. Bold words to my ears. We can do this because Matrix was never claimed. So the Den of Thieves is battling right now. I want to encourage writers out there, all of you. They're battling over my very work and the Neuralink. They're battling over it, which is the signal of their downfall. The Obamas won in. Think of that. Warner Brothers battling with Paramount for Netflix when all their execs are all over the place in those organizations. I'll leave it at that. Thank you for letting me share all that. Golden times ahead. I am honored to have lived this life. Know you guys. I can feel my excitement. Honored to meet you. Honored to do what we did. And I believe in the future we're all going to be very dynamic. And yes, we'll talk fast and we'll be very layered in our expressions and feelings because that's what we're going to evolve into. So if you can't keep up, start practicing feeling happy, beautiful,
Again, we're watching this at 1.5 speed.
loving, and just exercise that quick thinking. That's what we're going to be in the future. So.
And may I just say this? I'm so glad this is not AI. Guess what? Our conversation is coming intrinsically from who we are. Okay.
Yep.
And when I talk, like, you're a writer, I'm a writer, we're speakers. Words have frequencies. There is an essence, not what you say, how you say it, but also the words that you string together. And so I'm very honored to have met and gotten to know both of you. You have my utmost respect. And
You said something so important, Christine.
You don't know them at all, Christine. But hopefully, if you watch this, you'll find out a lot more about them.
The reason the agents are robot-like in the original is they're not allowed to show feeling. We can show feeling off the charts to our loved ones, to each other, to our audiences. We can show feeling. Our passion and our amplified passions are what make us separate from the other side that takes our work. Writer's block, I think, comes from lack of feeling, lack of intensity, lack of passion. If you've got the passion we have, probably won't feel a lot of writer's block because it's just going to be coming. And that's why I play World of Tanks, because I have to take a break sometime for the creativity. But you guys rock. Thank you for this.
My God. He ended his portion of this interview by saying, and that's why I play World of Tanks. Not, and that's why I am the real writer of the Matrix. Like, none of that. No, that's why I play World of Tanks.
Thank you for this. And all the inserts. Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
I think writer's block often
Oh, there's the inserts for a second. Oh, thank you very much.
comes from the ego.
Thank you.
Okay? The
Thank
ego
you.
is what blocks us because
Yes.
we're so, sometimes more interested in how somebody's going to receive what we say rather than speaking from the heart,
Yes.
the higher heart. And when I help people to download the right words for what they really want to say in my relationship process, my inspired heart letters, it's because I have my own ego. I don't have the clients. So I leap over that and jump into their higher heart and help them. It's a cooperative procedure.
Thank you for saying
process.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Because I would tell people too, if you want to write great work, get rid of your arrogance, get rid of your ego, do it as a service, and learn.
Tom has never gotten rid of his arrogance here. He doesn't show any humbleness. Like, oh. He always has the insults ready, though, doesn't he?
Learn true compassion and humility. Then you'll work great because you won't have that thing turning in the back of your mind about I'll be famous, I'll get money, I'll get laid. You'll be doing, I'm going to serve.
He was given 2 honeypot wives. He was promised fame and fortune. He believes he can go to court and win $1.2 billion. These are things he said, not me. Like, I'm taking this from what he has said. Everything that he just said here is a contradiction of what his actions truly are.
I want to do the best possible. Let me tell a passionate story. It's like the old stories in the ancient times where they go around the campfire and the storyteller would come and share a story would enliven the children and they'd feel it just from the words around the campfire or by the fireside. And that's how they did in the mid-ages even. And we are storytellers once again in the purest form, all of us. And that's what it needs to be. Not this mega monopoly on, like Bill Silver said on Create Art, I Acquire It. Well, you have to have it come from some source. Back to the fireside. Back to the honest feelings for each other. And lifting humanity will have a good end and a good course in development. But thank you for this, guys. Pleasure. Real pleasure.
Yeah, thank both of you. This is
And kumbaya, right?
amazing share, and sharing like this, will awaken people, and awaken people to the corruption that's out there. And I've seen in the chat. There's a lot of people talking about how they know people that had their work stolen as well. So it's not we're not the only ones.
Not at all. No.
There's many have gone through this. So you guys both have amazing stories. So thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just like to add my book is also in Audible, and I laced in all the music that I wrote through my Love Letters by Tina Rose, my performer's name. My middle name is Rose, album, and that's all in Audible. And
Very nice.
so that was a fun experience to do, and I'm very
Excellent.
happy to
And
share
have both
that.
your links in the description box so if anybody wants to see any of your work or participate. I know, Christine, you actually have people that you work with, so that's fantastic. So definitely, connect with them any way you want. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Wild.
It's Michael J.
And then it's replaying here. So that's one of the shortest interviews that we've watched. 55 minutes, but we didn't have to stop as often, thankfully. It sure is wild, though, isn't it? Well, I did want to keep today's show short. And it looks like we succeeded, didn't we? I don't know. So what we just watched was something from December. And there's plenty of more interviews for us to go over here on this channel. But that's one of the recent ones that he did. So I tried to look for recent interviews from like the past month of Tom, and just nothing. Which is kind of weird, to be honest. And I wanted to show, yeah, right here. Give me a moment here. Watch this. So Tom's Twitter. I don't know if I can make this big without, there, hold on. His most recent tweet from February 24th has 71 views, no engagement. And he's pointing out that, oh, March 20th, just resharing a reminder about the event that he's going to be at, right? For you, a full conference. What does that have to do with the Matrix? I don't know. Oh. So that'll do it for today. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. Tuesday, we'll be back with Coral Castle with the Deep Dive series. Thursday, we'll be back with the Bermuda Triangle series. And we're working on a few new series. Yeah, there's a few that I'm working on. But, in the meantime, if you haven't caught up on the other material I've covered, please go ahead and check that out. And I will leave you guys here with the intro from today's show. We'll use it as the outro. But again, I appreciate y'all being here. I really can't do this without you guys, really. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I'll leave you all with this intro, outro. But thank you for being here. And until the next one, class dismissed.
I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's putting down so-and-so. No, I don't have time for that. And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by an evil snowman.
Oh my
It's a
God!
Nephilim.
I mean,
It's
that
from
hat,
the Nephilim.
the hat is nowhere else except on Burl Eyes. Facial fur. That's what I'm dealing with. It's like,
They're
yeah,
part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
it's incredible. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's nobody, a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself,
Asshole!
we're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like somebody says, "I'm sorry for," you got me. Let's celebrate. That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world. That is ours.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
Thank you.
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are.
Remember when I was running for president as a socialist, and I'd go out there and I'd say, socialism is the only thing that can save America.
Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, I'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.